What if I told you that everything you've been taught about confidence is a lie? Society tells us that confidence is a feeling we must wait for. We are told that one day we will wake up and the fear will be gone, replaced by a surge of readiness. But that day never comes. What if the secret to becoming dangerously confident has nothing to do with feeling ready, and everything to do with doing it while you are absolutely terrified? Most people live their lives paralyzed by fear, overthinking every decision and wondering if they will ever be good enough. I have been in those shoes, facing doubts that seemed insurmountable. I've built businesses, taken massive risks, and stood on stages with my heart racing, barely holding my composure. Through these fires, I learned the core principle of the ancient Stoics. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it is acting in spite of it. Every challenge and every uncomfortable moment is not an obstacle to avoid. It is the only way to build real strength. The path to true confidence isn't paved with comfort. It is forged through the fire of action. If you are ready to break free from the cycle of self-doubt and build confidence the Stoic way, hit that subscribe button right now. By doing that, you are taking a personal step toward growth. Today we are going to spend the next hour deconstructing the architecture of the untouchable soul. Rule 1. The impediment is the path. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who led the Roman Empire through plagues and wars, once wrote a sentence that can change your life forever. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the fundamental Stoic law of dangerous confidence. Most people see a roadblock and think they are on the wrong path. They think, if this were meant for me, it wouldn't be this hard. They wait for the universe to give them a green light. But the Stoic knows that the roadblock is the path. If you want to be confident, you have to understand that every challenge, every moment of paralyzing self-doubt, and every rejection is not a signal to stop. It is the very weight you must lift to build the muscle of the soul. The discomfort you are trying to avoid is exactly what will shape you into someone who can handle anything. Real confidence isn't about getting rid of the fear before the big meeting. It's about walking into the room while your heart is pounding against your ribs like a caged animal. Stop waiting for the perfect moment where the path is clear and you feel ready. That moment is a ghost. It doesn't exist. The longer you wait for confidence to appear spontaneously, the longer you stay stuck in the mud of mediocrity. You have to earn your confidence day by day through consistent, gritty action and stepping outside your comfort zone when you'd rather hide. Identify the one thing you are most afraid of doing this week. That is your impediment. Don't try to make the fear go away. Instead, use the fear as a compass. The more you face what scares you, the more you realize that the world isn't as scary as your mind told you it was. You begin to develop a battle-hardened psyche. When you realize that you can survive the worst parts of the path, you become untouchable. Rule 2. Reject the fake-it facade. We've all heard the modern mantra, fake it until you make it. It's on every motivational poster and in every shallow self-help book. But let's be honest, how often does that actually result in peace? You can put on an expensive suit, walk into a room with your chin up, and act like you've got it all together. But deep down, you know it's a mask. You know it's a facade. And the more you fake it, the more you reinforce the inner belief that the real you isn't good enough. You become an actor in your own life, terrified of being found out. True Stoic confidence isn't something you can manufacture with a smile. It's not about pretending you have it when you don't. It's about the radical honesty of showing up despite the fear. It's about being unfiltered. It's doing the things that scare you, even when you don't feel ready, and being okay with the world seeing your struggle. This is the true test of your character. The Stoics offered a harder, more honest reality. Confidence comes from facing discomfort head-on, not from positive affirmations in the mirror. You didn't wait until you were confident to learn how to walk as a child. You didn't stand by the couch and wait for a feeling of walking readiness to hit you. You just did it. You took a step, you fell on your face, you cried, and you did it again. You built confidence through the data of falling and getting back up. Stop trying to look perfect. In your next challenge, allow yourself to be a beginner. Don't hide your nerves. Acknowledge them. When you stop wasting energy trying to maintain a facade, you free up that energy to actually perform. Real power comes from the person who says, "I don't know the answer yet, but I'm the one who's going to find it." That is earned authority. Rule 3. The imagination tax, Seneca's law. Seneca, the advisor to emperors, captured the root of all human anxiety when he said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about how much tax you have paid to your imagination this year alone. Your mind runs through worst-case scenarios that have a 0.1% chance of happening. You avoid starting the business because you've imagined the bankruptcy. You avoid the conversation because you've imagined the screaming match. You avoid the stage because you've imagined the crowd laughing. You are paying a debt for a disaster that hasn't happened yet. This imagination tax is what keeps people small and fearful. The reality of life is often nowhere near as bad as the horror movie playing in your head. Confidence grows the moment you face those imagined fears and realize that you are still standing on the other side, breathing and capable. Every time you step into discomfort, whether it's speaking up when your voice is shaking or learning a skill that makes you feel stupid, you are providing your brain with evidence. Your brain is a logical machine. It registers these experiences as proof of survival. The more evidence of survival you collect, the more your belief in your own resilience grows. Practice pre-mortem thinking. Write down exactly what you are afraid will happen. Then write down how you would survive it. Once you see that even the worst case is survivable, the fear loses its grip. You train yourself to be confident through the evidence of action, not the fantasies of thought. You stop paying the tax and start collecting the interest on your courage. Rule 4. The discipline of self-trust. Confidence and discipline are not two separate things. They are the same thread. Without discipline, confidence is just hype. It's a temporary high that fades the moment a real crisis hits. You cannot feel truly confident if deep down you don't trust yourself to follow through on your own word. If you tell yourself you're going to work out and you don't, you've just told your subconscious that your word is worthless. Confidence is the compound interest of small promises kept to yourself every single day. It is built on the iron backbone of self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Self-discipline is what allows you to take action when the motivation has evaporated. It's what pushes you to do the work when you'd rather stay in bed. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, getting up at the alarm, finishing the difficult report, staying away from the distraction, you reinforce the identity of someone who is reliable. When you trust yourself, you don't need the world to trust you. That inner certainty radiates outward and becomes what people perceive as dangerous confidence. Start the small promise drill. Pick 3 tiny things you will do tomorrow. No matter what happens, you must do them. By doing this, you are rewiring your brain to trust your own commands. A person who trusts their own word is a person the world cannot shake. Rule 5. Emotions follow action, the ephemeris law. This is the psychological secret that 99% of the population misses. Your emotions follow your actions, not the other way around. Most people are waiters. They wait for the vibe to be right. They wait to feel motivated to work. They wait to feel confident to speak. But the Stoics knew that emotions are the caboose, not the engine of the train. If you wait for your emotions to align with your goals, you will spend your life in the waiting room. You have to move the body first. When you step into the cold shower, your body doesn't want to, but after you're in, the surge of adrenaline makes you feel alive. When you start the workout, you feel tired, but 10 minutes in, you feel powerful. Epictetus, the slave-turned philosopher, captured this brilliantly. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. He didn't say, wait until you feel like a philosopher. He said, do what a philosopher does, and the identity will follow. You don't need a feeling of readiness. Define the version of you that is dangerously confident. What does that person do? How do they walk? How do they handle a rejection? Start doing those things now, and your brain will eventually adopt the emotion of confidence as its new baseline. Use the 5-second rule of stoic action. When you have an impulse to do something brave, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move before your brain can talk you out of it. Force the action and let the emotion catch up. You don't think your way into a new way of acting. You act your way into a new way of thinking. Rule 6. Fear is a signal, not a stop sign. The Stoics were masters of cognitive reframing. They understood that fear is rarely a reflection of actual danger. Rather, it is a distortion of reality created by an untrained mind. When you feel that cold knot in your stomach, when your heart begins to race and your palms sweat, your biological survival mechanism is firing. Most people interpret this physiological data as a stop sign. They think, I feel fear, therefore I am in danger, therefore I should quit. But the Stoic sage reinterprets this data. To us, that surge of adrenaline is a signal. It is not an indication of your weakness. It is a GPS coordinate for your growth. It is an indication that you are pushing against the outer perimeter of your current limits. If you never feel fear, it means you are playing a game that is far too small for your potential. Stepping into the unknown is the only place where true confidence is manufactured. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you are engaging in a silent revolution against your primal instincts. You are telling your fear that it may be present, but it does not get a seat at the table of command. You are reclaiming the throne of your own mind. The goal of Stoicism isn't to be a cold statue or to become fearless. Even the bravest Roman generals felt the tremor of fear before a battle. The difference is they didn't aim to rid themselves of the emotion. They aimed to control their response to it. You might always feel that flicker of anxiety before a challenge, and that is perfectly fine. It is human. The difference now is that you will treat that flicker like a green light. You will act not because the fear is gone, but precisely because it is there. The next time you feel the biological alarm of fear, pause for 3 seconds. Label the feeling, this is my growth signal. Then, immediately take one physical step toward the thing that triggered the alarm. By doing this, you are desensitizing your nervous system. You are training your brain to associate the feeling of fear with the reward of progress. Rule 7. The power of small deposits. Confidence is often misunderstood as a big bang event that one day you'll do something so massive that you'll be confident forever. This is a myth that leads to paralysis. Real, dangerously confident. People know that self-belief is built in the mundane details. It is built in the small things you do when nobody is watching. Think of your confidence as a high-interest savings account. You don't get rich by waiting for a lottery win. You get rich through the power of small deposits. Every time you do what you said you would do, you are making a deposit. Every time you push through 5 minutes of boredom to finish a task, you are making a deposit. Every small step is a victory that the world might not see, but your subconscious definitely records. These small actions add up to a massive, unshakable identity. Progress comes from steady, incremental steps, not one singular lucky move. Most people fail because they aim for an unrealistic, far-off goal and get discouraged when they don't reach it in a week. The Stoic breaks down the overwhelming mountain into individual stones. If you want a promotion, stop obsessing over the title and start focusing on the micro-victories. What? Can you do this afternoon to improve your competence? Can you take on one extra responsibility? Can you refine one skill? Each small choice to act builds psychological momentum. Momentum is the ultimate cure for self-doubt. It is nearly impossible to doubt your capacity when you are looking at a mountain of evidence that you are moving forward every single day. Create a victory log. Every evening, write down 3 small things you did that required even a tiny bit of courage or discipline. No matter how small, sending an email, making a phone call, skipping a dessert. These are your deposits. When your mind tries to tell you that you haven't made progress, look at the log. The data doesn't lie. Rule 8. Embracing failure as essential data. What happens if you fail? Most people view failure as a tombstone, an end to their ambitions and a permanent mark on their worth. This fear of failure is the #1 killer of confidence. But the Stoics viewed failure as a laboratory. To them, failure wasn't a disaster. It was essential data. Success is a poor teacher. When you succeed, you often don't know exactly why. But when you fail, you gain a level of surgical insight that success can never provide. You learn exactly where your strategy was weak, where your skills were lacking, and where your ego got in the way. Failure provides the practical feedback required to build a version of yourself that can eventually win. Every dangerously confident person you admire has a graveyard of failures behind them. The reason they are confident isn't that they never fail. It's because they have learned that failure cannot kill them. They have been to the bottom, and they have climbed back up. They know their own resilience because it has been tested by fire. Stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" When you shift from a judgment mindset to a learning mindset, you break the power that fear has over you. You realize that failure is just a redirection. It is the universe's way of refining your character until you are strong enough to hold the success you are asking for. Adopt the post-action review. After any setback, big or small, ask yourself 2 questions. 1. What was under my control that I could have done better? 2. What is the one piece of data I can take from this to ensure the next attempt is 10% more effective? By treating failure as a technical problem rather than a personal flaw, you become a high-performance machine. Rule 9. The habit of virtuous action. In the Stoic tradition, virtue, arete, isn't just about being a good person in a moral sense. It's about excellence of function. It's the habit of doing what is right and what is necessary even when it is incredibly difficult. Confidence works the exact same way. It is not an event. It is a habit you build through relentless repetition. You have to make it a habit to step into discomfort. You have to make it a habit to speak your truth. You have to make it a habit to show up when you feel like hiding. Consistency is the only thing that matters. Building an ironclad psyche is exactly like training for a marathon. At the beginning, a single mile feels like death. You feel weak, you feel out of breath, and you want to quit. But if you keep showing up, your physiology adapts. The more you practice acting in spite of your feelings, the easier it becomes. Eventually, what once seemed daunting becomes your new normal. On the days when you don't feel motivated, remind yourself that confidence is an action-first system. You don't show up because you feel like it. You show up to create the feeling for tomorrow. Use the rule of 3. In any situation where you feel hesitation, commit to doing that thing for just 3 minutes. Usually the friction is only at the start. Once you are 3 minutes into the difficult task or the uncomfortable situation, your habit brain takes over and the confidence begins to flow. Rule 10. Action is the core of earned trust. Real, dangerous confidence is never given. It is earned. You cannot buy it, you cannot inherit it, and you cannot think your way into it. It is the result of earned trust between your conscious mind and your deeper self. It's about doing what needs to be done even when the odds feel stacked against you and the world is telling you to wait. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to feel ready. That moment is a mirage in the desert. The closer you get, the further it moves away. The perfect moment is a trap designed to keep you safe and small. Start now, with whatever you have, from wherever you are. Take the next step, even if it is a microscopic one. Every single action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming. Your mind might scream that you aren't good enough, that you're a fraud, or that you're going to fail. Let it scream. Your actions are the only things that carry weight in the real world. Step into the discomfort and trust that the version of you that can handle the challenge will emerge. during the process, not before it. The immediate move. Whatever big goal you have, find one action you can take in the next 60 seconds that moves you toward it. Not a planning action, but a doing action. Open the document, dial the number, buy the book. Prove to your doubt that your hands move faster than its voice. You now possess the complete framework to become dangerously confident. You have the ancient blueprints and the modern psychological tools. But I need to leave you with one final warning. Wisdom without action is just entertainment. If you close this video and go back to your old patterns of overthinking and hesitation, then these 110 minutes were just a pleasant distraction. The Stoics had a saying, "Do not talk about what a good man should be one." Don't let this be just another video you watch and forget. This is a crossroads. You can remain in the cycle of doubt, or you can choose the path of the ironclad. Pick just one rule from this masterclass, whether it's small deposits or embracing failure, and apply it in the next 24 hours. Just one. Prove to yourself, through the evidence of your own life, that Stoic action works. I want to see the fire in this community. Hit the like button right now to signal your readiness to step into the arena. By doing so, you help this message break through the noise to reach others who are currently paralyzed by their own minds. Now, I want you to go to the comments and write down exactly what you will manifest by acting despite your fear. Don't be vague. Be specific. Write it down to turn your intention into a contract. To seal this message into your soul and join the ranks of the modern Stoic, comment one last time, "I act, I grow, I receive." Subscribe and hit the notification bell. We don't do motivation here. We build ironclad strength. Stay strong, stay sovereign, and as always, live according to your highest self. I will see you in the next one.